Hi, we're here at the Valhalla Cafe again for another vlog. Let's put our little invite up onto the invitee people and see who can we get in with us this evening. It's been a good week for us, for me anyway, between one thing and another. So let's see what we got when people start to arrive. Yeah, Holy Hammers of Asgard. We have a few things going on in the group. We are still being COVID savvy as best as we can, and we are looking after one another, and where we're able to safely train, we are doing that too. So we're always looking for new people to come down and see us at the Black Prince in Northampton. And here we have some people arriving right now. They're on their way in. Let's see who we got. Ooh, who we got? Hello, hello, hello. How do? We got Susie and Adrian, who's connecting to his audio. Howdy doody, everyone.
How's it going?
All good. I've just been ranting and raving for a few moments there before people started to arrive. So, AD, how's your week been, my friend?
Not too bad. Yeah, not too bad at all. Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Well, I've been looking more into the a decent length walk. So the idea at the moment is a charity-based walk up the Dane Way from Oakham to the Humber Bridge.
What's it called again, AD?
The Dane Way.
The Dane Way. Ah, right. I slightly misheard you there. Well, on Paul's knocking at the door.
So the germ of the idea is.
There he is. Hey, there he is. He's down there. All right, Paul. How you doing?
Hello.
Sorry, we're just listening to AD rattle on about his walk up the Khyber Pass. Or someplace like that.
Absolutely. Yes, so that's the germ of an idea. Some form of charity-based walk up the Dane Way from Oakham to the Humber Bridge, which is a total of 147 miles.
So where Oakham is over near Corby, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Okay, and
that winds its way up, and the idea is to take it nice and steady, maybe over the course of about 10 days. Maybe try and contact some enactment groups along the way.
Yeah,
maybe do a little bit of filming with them, and
a splendid idea.
Take a look at some significant sites along the way.
That would be like to do your own little vlog on the way as you're going.
Yeah, or even to kind of do a couple of updates as I go through the week, and then we maybe can compile it into some kind of full kind of blood axe type short film type thing.
Saying that, it would be good to perhaps have a natter with our friends in the Vikings of Mercia, because over that neck of the woods, if it's going from Oakham right the way up to the Humber, maybe there might be one or two individuals within the Vikings of Mercia that may be interested. Now, have you thoughts on what sort of charity you'd do it for, AD?
Well, I think we would throw that open to the rest of the group. Really, see what we think. I don't know if anybody within the group does work for a particular charity or between
Not
us.
necessarily, but we do have an associated charity called Equata that
And
might be an idea.
And what is it they're involved with?
So they do, I was going to say, they do kind of like what your daughter does. They work with children with special needs, but they do it with equine therapy. So they've got horses and they've got animals, and they're just an absolutely amazing charity. So yeah, they're ever so good with children, learning difficulties, autism, all on the spectrum, all that kind of thing. So fantastic work that they do.
Well, and the thing that they do is that if the person who has a child that requires therapy who is unable to pay for it, they'll do it free.
Oh, well, that's perfect. That's just the sort of thing we're looking for, I think.
And the lady that runs it, her name is Joanne Hawkins, and she is like an angel, literally, that has come from the heavens. She's just amazing, and her daughter as well. There's a whole bunch of them. That the energy and the love and the vibrancy is just sparkling.
Yeah,
the animals are so well looked after up there. It's just an incredible vibe, and we will go up, AD. We'll take you up, and you'll see it firsthand, and you'll be able to meet Joanne, and she'll probably I don't know, she'll probably fall in love with you.
I think that might be a big ask of the woman. You know,
it probably would. But she's that kind of woman. She is. She is. She's lovely. She's lovely.
Where are they based?
Kettering, Grafton Underwood.
Yeah, the other side of Kettering. Oh, yeah, Grafton Underwood.
You know what? When I done some work for Alderwood, which is a home out Cransley way. It's a home for 6 young guys with profound autism. I do believe I might have been there.
No, Cransley's the other direction. Or are you thinking about Cranford?
No, I'm sure it's Cransley, because where the home is. Because it's just through Broughton, kind of under the bridge and up the hill. That's Cransley, isn't it?
That's Cransley. Yeah.
Well, that's where the home is. It's the
the other side of Kettering. So you would go past Wicksteed Park and all that lot. You're passed out that way.
So, but yes, it would certainly be interesting to go over there, and you know, that would be the.
Well, we've held many a block there as well, and the energy that you get from the area is just absolutely fantastic. So,
so something like that would be absolutely fantastic.
Oh, you'll love it. You'll love it up there. You'll absolutely love it. You'll love it. So, what have you been up to this week, Paul? Anything interesting?
I've got my sword finished up finally.
Yeah, let's have a look. Let's see it. Let's see it gleaming.
Oh,
let's see it sparkling and gleaming.
Take a few seconds. I've got it all wrapped up ready for tomorrow.
No, you like unwrapping it.
Yeah,
but that's good. We don't want weapons on show in public.
Hell no! Not in this new normal.
No, definitely not.
Being nice and lazy, was playing a Viking game last week. So
let's take a look at that.
How did you get on cleaning your mail, Paul?
Look at that.
Not very this week.
Look at that.
That's nice and shiny.
That's up quite a lot. Yeah, you've done a good job.
So.
You've done a very, very good job. Did you use Peak on that?
Yeah, was it? After I ground it down a little bit with some sanding paper, just to get rid of some of the pits and stuff, de-rusted it, and then finished it off with some peak, and yeah.
Good on you, mate. Yeah, well done. You've done a cracking job with that one, definitely.
Very nice.
Superb. Okay, Holy Hammers of Asgard. What else we got going on, Susie? Have we got
What else
something
we got going on? Well, we need to give a little shout out to our youngest member of Blood Axe, Lewis.
Yeah,
the
Lewis.
Oh,
fella. He's broken his arm and he can't train with us at the moment, but he would like to find out some further information, and he's given me a list of questions to ask.
Yeah.
So I've got that list here. If we're happy to go with that one.
Shoot. Just to let you know, Lewis, we have not had any, how would you say, notice about what's in there, apart from Susie saying they're really, really complex questions.
Yeah, because we saw how well that went last time.
Not like,
they're not like
his questions.
Yeah, not like his questions. Or his question.
I think it's that way. You're that way, Susie.
Yeah, mine shows opposite. It's really weird.
Yeah, you're that way. You have to.
It's all mine.
Yeah, but I have to point that way for it to look that way.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
strange. It's backwards.
That's right. You put
that
when
way.
you point that way. When you point that way, you're pointing at me. So if I'm pointing that way, I'm pointing at you.
Yeah, but I've got to point that way to point at you because this flips.
Yeah, and when I'm pointing this way, I'm pointing at 80.
Yeah.
Ah! Anyway, come on. What are these questions?
Yeah, that's the right way.
Because we're going to run out of time again. Come on.
Right. Lewis's questions. Okay.
How many questions are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We'll get 2 in this evening, then, will we?
I don't know. They're pretty quick questions, so
Okay.
hopefully.
Right.
So we'll see how we go anyway, because we do want to try and fit a rune in as well. So,
Cool.
first one was, what was there in the way of entertainment for the Vikings?
Nintendo, Sega, Xbox.
Cockfights.
Oh dear.
In the way of entertainment,
Yes.
obviously, in a society where you do not have anything like electricity and things like that of an evening, there are no electronic gadgetry. Back in the olden days, and now this is hard to believe, and this is true, this is a scientific fact, that people in the evenings spoke to each other.
I know, it's amazing. It did happen.
Weird or what? There's other people in the room, and instead of doing stuff like, kind of like this, you actually made eye contact with them. Weird. Weird stuff. Absolutely weird. But, and this is where 80 comes in, because you're so far up north, in the autumn and the winter period, the nights would be extraordinarily long and the days would be extraordinarily short. In those periods of long evenings, that is where the oral tradition of handing down stories was at its most vibrant. So in the very ancient times of the Vikings and even before, the narrated stories of the family history and all of the various ancestors will be passed down in the oral tradition, and you're hearing this all the time, and the various sagas and stories of the gods was made into kind of small stories for children, and as they were growing up they were listening to different stories, so on and so forth. Obviously, light being a problem, they relied quite heavily on their open fires and candles and things like that. So obviously they didn't write anything down, they didn't have anything to write on or use to write, but they were able to use their knives to scratch runes on things, so that certain bits and pieces do survive from that period of time. But they're only short little bits written on twigs and sticks and stuff like that. But to answer the question, it would be a lot of storytelling and learning the histories of their families, and lots of stories of the gods and the things that they got up to. And we will be talking about gods a little bit later on. So I don't know if that answers the question to his satisfaction. But yeah,
I've also got a little bit of further information as well in the way of entertainment, because it wasn't necessarily the stories, obviously, in the evening. You've also got the games that they would play.
that's right.
The board games, the Tafl. What was the one that you've introduced? The Nine
Man's Morris, and that goes back to the
Nine Man's Morris,
yeah.
which we're going to be looking at playing as well.
Yep.
But what I also read was that when they did have their daylight, they would actually have sort of like sporting events, or you know, kind of like your wrestling and all that kind of stuff, and it could actually be quite dangerous. And I did also read up that, you know, Vikings would actually die from playing these games. These were all you know, for sport and having fun. But they could still die in the process because, you know, they just went hell for leather. So yeah, that was quite interesting to read on. But yeah, so
we do have a friend of Blood Axe that would also suggest that children would also be engaged in weaving and spinning, because their fingers were so fine and dexterous. They would be able to spin very, very thin and very fine wool and linen for the purposes of weaving. So
not necessarily the most fine of weaving, but I don't know if you can see that at all.
Okay, yeah.
So that's some of the weaving that I've been doing recently.
Yeah, that's looking really, really good. Very, very good. We've lost Aidy. Where's he gone?
Just an example.
Yeah. Okay, next question. What we got?
Next question. So, a bit more specific, and I don't know whether we'll have the answer tonight or whether it will be next week. We need to do some research.
Yeah.
But what medicinals were used in Britain by the Vikings?
What?
Medicinals.
Oh.
Medicines.
Oh. Very interesting. Yeah. There were people called cunning men and leech men and wise women. Now, the wise women were adept in all things pertaining to the care and the well-being of the pregnant lady through the course of her confinement and directly afterwards, and how the baby would be looked after and nourished and all of those things. Because of this acquired knowledge that was passed down generation to generation to generation, but wasn't written down, wise women had very unique and very specific roles within the community, and they were very much respected and looked after. It was almost like they had the powers of a priestess in terms of how they looked after people, or sorry, ladies going through the process of pregnancy, so on and so forth. Also, the very basic things like what a wise man or a cunning man would be able to do, would be able to manage things that would happen quite a lot, because they were using their hands and using their bodies in all sorts of endeavors to whatever it was on a farm or a shipyard or whatever. There would be lots of broken bones and lots of cuts and tears on the skin, things like that. So they knew and they understood what plants and herbs and various shrubs and things like that that would have proactive healing qualities, and they would know how to extract the healing qualities and apply them. Also, they knew and they understood things from barks of particular trees. They also had specific healing properties, and they were also good for packing over serious injuries and keeping them clean. Because when you strip the bark off the tree and clean it, sometimes there's a residue on the inside that has a medicinal quality. Or they would apply honey. That was something that would be well known even from the times of the ancient Egyptians, that this was a natural healing medicinal compound that you'd slap that on a bit of a bark of a tree and wrap it around with a bit of linen. Very, very simple things like that. Obviously, they came into contact with various other cultures all over the world, and they would extract knowledge from them, and the ability to heal things in exotic climates and cold climates. All of these skills they acquired. Again, they didn't write them down because they weren't a literate society as what we would know them as. The only things that were written down by the contemporary people at the time who were Christians, the monks who had access to vellum and ink and quills and the ability to write in Latin.
So we wouldn't have any specifics on the actual
enormously well. Sorry, go on, Susie.
No, I was just going to say, because they couldn't write it down, we don't have sort of like the specific knowledge of the actual herbs and medicinal, plants and everything that they used. It was just sort of like we knew that they had that knowledge.
Yeah, but when the Christians came along, the wise women were very much vilified and deemed as witches.
They were looked at as witches, weren't they? So
yeah. So all of these ancient traditions, when the Christians turned up in their various forms of zealotry and trying to convert the local heathen population, would go for the people with the most knowledge and try and win them over. And if they couldn't win them over, it was to the bogs. Next question. What we got?
Next question. So, what was farmed by the Vikings other than livestock?
Depends where they were. Would depend where they were.
Well, okay. Well, as medicinals was brought up for over here, what about what they would farm over here in Britain?
Turnips.
When they got over here.
Turnips. Turnips. They fucking love turnips. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that on YouTube. But they fucking they loved carrots. White carrots, not the orange ones. They turned up later on. But the white carrots and the parsnips and turnips. But the potatoes weren't invented until 1492.
Uh-oh. No wonder they were so angry all the time.
Pardon? No, there was
they were so angry all the time.
Yeah, it was Sir Reginald Potato who returned from the Americas with a bag full of these things. But they didn't have a name. But when they were presented to the King of Austria, he says, "What were they?" And he says, "Well, we don't know." He says, "Well, what's your name?" He says, "Reginald Potato." So what we call them potatoes then? Because they already had another vegetable called Reginald, but they didn't have one called a potato, so that's how that came about. It's true. It's a true story.
Okay.
Look it up.
Okay.
As Blackadder told us, I mean, when the potato did first arrive, they were used for everything, and to quote Mr. Blackadder, they'll be eating them next.
Yeah. That's very, very true. Very, very true. Very versatile. I don't know what other vegetables. because you got your root vegetables and you got your kind of like the other vegetables grow up. I don't know, when was broccoli invented then? I don't know, who invented it? I don't know.
I mean, probably.
We'll have more of a dig into that one, I think.
I think so. We need to look into that. I think,
we'll have a dig into that one.
Because if we're going to be authentically Viking cooking, we need to be cooking authentic Viking vegetables, I would have thought.
Yep.
I'm going to have to sneak my own potatoes in.
Pardon?
That means I'm going to have to sneak my own potatoes in if I want my hash.
Yeah. Parsnip. Leeks. I would imagine leeks would have been around.
Yeah, leeks.
And Brussels sprouts.
Onions, maybe?
Yeah.
No, I don't think. Yeah, onions.
Onions. Mushrooms, definitely. Again, mushrooms.
Yeah, well, as long as they grab the poisonous ones.
Yeah. This is something that we will need to polish up for the next vlog. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay.
Look into that. Definitely. Okay. What's the next question?
So the Viking fish and chip shop that used to be in Corby, I take it then that is an original from the formation of Corby. That will be an original Viking fish and chip shop, I
would assume so, yeah. If they've got a bidden next to it where you can throw your discarded chips and have a poo, yes. Absolutely. Why not? Why not?
Next question.
Next question.
Were women respected in the Viking era?
Hell yes. It was an egalitarian society, where women held a highly esteemed presence within the society to the equal of men, and I believe the law speakers would give rights of equal merit to women to hold land, to hold treasure, to have their own jarldom. They were seen as the equal to men in all things intellectual, but women have specific gifts in one direction and men have specific gifts in other direction. But on the grand weighing scales of things, they both require each other and both were deemed as equal. So they were way ahead of their time in terms of how they perceived a woman's role in society. Because very often when the man was out on raids for most of the year, it was the woman of the house that held the keys, and this is often an indicative thing that's on the belts of Viking women. They have a set of keys to the treasure chest.
Well, they held them whether they were on raids or not, didn't they?
Yeah, this is very, very true. And a woman could divorce her man for all sorts of different reasons.
And then take all the land as well.
Yeah. So it's a very, very interesting state of affairs. I'm just mindful of the time and us drifting away, and then all of a sudden the clock starts to tick down.
Indeed.
So how many have we asked there?
There's 4 out of 5 there. So what we'll do is we'll research a bit more about the farming question, and we'll leave the other question until next week, and then we can do that as a bit of a two-parter.
That's a good idea, Susie. That is a.
It is indeed, Bernie. It is
indeed. The other way. You've got to go the other way. Yes. Not the opposite way. You go that way. Yes.
You see, I'm right.
Yes.
You see, I'm right.
I think that is very, very good communication coming from both of you.
This is how we pride ourselves. Now, what we have to do, we have to start bringing forth more of the spirituality of the ancient Norse and going back to what they would talk about in the evenings. I'll have some of that, AD, if you can pour some in. Tip some in there, mate.
Absolutely. There you go.
There you go.
No,
Thank
I
you.
think
Yeah, I've got it.
down there. You need to pour it more
Got
that
it.
way.
Yeah, fantastic.
There you go.
Of an evening, they would discuss their spirituality and all the various gods that they had, and all in the various places in which they would reside. Now, what we do know is that a lot of these were written down and kept in the sagas and the Eddas, and we've got a lot of information pertaining to these. So next vlog, I think we will all have a little bit more to say about the various places in which the gods lived, and all the different places that are in the world tree. I know that here we are in Midgard, which is the land of the of us, the humans, and there's the Asgard, and there's the land of the giants, there's the land of ice, and there's the land of fire, and there's the land of hell, and there's the land of the elves, and there's black,
and there's the land of the Vesia.
and the Vanir.
No, sorry, the Vanir. Vanir.
There's the
Aesir and the Vanir.
The Aesir and the Vanir. But what we'll do is, I think we'll probably, because it's such a big subject, we'll probably just have enough time to cover the ground of two of them in the next vlog. What do people think? And
that sounds good. Maybe
yeah,
devote, I don't know, 5 minutes or so to each, and then have it ongoing over the next
obviously
few weeks.
we're not going to get it all right, but if we're heading in the right direction with it, I think it's a good thing, because obviously being aware of all the things that are in the spiritual realm of the Norse is nourishment for ourselves as well, and gives us perspective and meaning on how to make sense of this world that we are living in, and where we are heading to after all of this. It kind of makes life, I think, if you're more spiritually attuned, you've got a better how to say, enjoyment of life. Some people say it's completely and utterly rubbish and you shouldn't be even thinking about stuff like that, but I think addressing some of these things and enjoying them and engaging with them is a good and a wholesome thing. Most definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It certainly is. Have we got time to fit in a bit of information on the next room tonight, or are we running out of time?
Yeah. We have about 5 minutes left.
Right, we'll get this quickly. So the next rune in the Futhark is Anzus.
Anzus. That's what that looks like. Okay, what do we know about Anzus?
So apparently,
Pardon?
Here you go, cow.
Well, it's right up.
He's got it right there. No, that's like that's your phone.
Oh, yes, I know, but I failed to find the good glasses, so it's all very well having the book there.
Ah, right, okay. So you haven't got your glasses. Oh, we've gone. Oh no. Oh, we have lost it completely. They have all frozen in time. They have gone to the land of Niflheim. Adie, Paul, and Susie have all disappeared. And good evening to another Valhalla Cafe, Holy Hammers of Hell. Have we got an interesting vlog for you. Let's see who's knocking at the door. And in we have 1 and 2. So let's see who's coming in. Who's coming in? And first in through the door is Adrian. How you doing, Adrian?
Oh, very well. Good evening. How are you?
All well, sir. I am all well. I just heard somebody else knocking at the door, and I was hoping that oh, here she
There she is. Oi, hello.
So we got
How's it
Adrian.
going?
Huh?
How's it going?
All good. Very, very good this week.
Right, are we sorting out where everybody is?
Yes, you're there.
I have no flipping idea.
I'm speaking to you now, Adrian, and I'm nodding at you, looking.
And I'm just nodding because it's all I can. You're down there,
Yes.
not you.
Well, you're
You're
down
over
there to
there.
me.
You're over there, and Susie's down there. Because normally we would have Paul, wouldn't we? But there's no sign of it.
That's right, and he's normally over there.
Well, yeah, sometimes he's down there, isn't he?
That's
But,
right.
Down that way.
Or that way. He's probably so determined to get all of the rust off his male shirt. He's probably forgotten all about our plans for a get together online, and subsequently that's what he's doing. But I think he's done a good job on his sword. I think that came out all right.
Excellent.
Excellent. Good job.
Really good. Really good.
And the male shirt should be looking a bit better, but sometimes they look a little bit better when they're a bit dinged and a bit oily and a bit old, and a bit, rather than this kind of like galvanized kind of crap
Shiny.
that you see some people wearing. And it's I can understand if you're not that well knowledgeable about the authenticity side of things, but from a cost point of view, if you were going to buy a proper shirt of mail that is riveted, not butted and not galvanized, but made by somebody who knows what they're doing, it's going to cost you a lot of money. But for
An arm and a leg.
But for the entry level Viking who's enthusiastic and got lots of energy and lots of beans and wants to get stuck into it all, I can see why the popularity of something a little bit cheaper. I think you probably get them on eBay for what, about, I don't know, 60 quid, 50 quid, 40 quid, I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose the attraction is as well. You can go to the cheaper end of the market because nobody is actually going to be trying to kill you.
This is very, very true, Eddie. Very true. Yep, this is true.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. When it all flips back over to the other side, and we will be speaking to each other, kind of thing.
How right you are.
Very true. Exactly. But anyway, listen. Come on. Mail. We've talked about mail. We have a few bits and bobs of things that we were talking about today. I've managed to lighten your treasure hoard of some silver coinage today.
Oh, please don't get it out. We don't.
The world needs to know. The world needs to know, AD.
We don't need to see how you've lightened my coffers.
It's like taking candy from a baby. It really is. But we will get you there. But we have set ourselves a task here, haven't we? We have formulated an idea that came about during today's game, and if you give us some idea of what that is, AD, and let the people know what we're up to.
Yes, we are gonna carry on until I've no longer got a shirt on my back, and then we're gonna find some other immoral way for me to pay off my debts. I think that's what we.
Nothing disgusting. Nothing disgusting, AD.
No, nothing disgusting. Just immoral. Yeah, I believe what we eventually decided was I was going to be in the novice category for another month or so.
Yes,
To
yes.
give me a chance to get my brain into gear, and then in which time you are going to continue to take small amounts of money off me,
Well,
and then once we think I've reached a level at which I should
Start
know
winning-
better,
start
you're
winning
then
some
going
money
to take
back.
larger. Yeah.
Yeah, start winning some money back.
Start winning some money
Oh.
back.
At which point you're then going to take larger amounts of money off me.
Well, we'll see. But it's always a good incentive to get yourself focused when you know that you are going to be playing for money. But like it's like with all things, you just don't pick up a bow and arrow and start getting a bullseye every time. You, by process of experience and it's called getting your eye into the game. And that can take, some people can have that sort of like mathematical ability to be able to just do it. Then other people see things in a different way, the left brain, right brain kind of thing. But it will evolve, that you will become quite a strategic player and you will be a very, very good player. And the aim is that we, within our little kindred of Blood Axe, that we're going to put together a team to take it to the next level, to the competitive level. So give us some information about that, AD. What are we going to be doing?
Well, our plan is to have a team that is formidable enough for us next year to plan a raiding party to go to the Shetlands, be victorious, and come away with all their booty.
Absolutely, booty, as in their trinkets and jewelry, not their.
No, certainly not their bottoms.
Twerking.
This is the kind of mind you have.
No,
We're gonna.
No. We're going to leave their bottoms alone.
We're going to lick. Did you say lick their bottoms?
No. We're going to leave. We're going to leave their bottoms alone.
Oh man, I need a hearing aid. No.
You really do.
I do.
What we're going to return with is their supplies of gold, mead, and maidens.
And then nothing tastes in your mouth.
In whichever order you want to put them in.
Yeah.
I'm personally going to settle for mead and gold. If you prefer mead and maidens,
I'm
that's
not
your
licking
choice.
anyone's bottom, mate. Forget it. I don't care.
Oh.
End of. No way. I've just washed that down now.
Oh dear. Anyway.
Where do you stand, Susie, on the licking of bottoms?
Next question.
Okay.
That's what we need. We need another question.
Anyway, let's go forward.
Okay, where are we going now? Your walk. You need to tell us a bit more about your walk, AD.
Now then, the walk. Right. Another plan for next year, the walk. I am intending on once the spring arrives, and the plan at the moment is I've got a date of March the 20th in mind at the moment for starting a. I'm just looking at my notes here. There we go. March the 20th. It's the spring equinox. So that is the date that I'm planning to start a walk from Oakham to the Humber Bridge, which is the Dane Way long distance walk.
Okay.
It covers a distance of 147 miles, covering some significant sites and locations that made up part of the route of invasions from the Humber estuary down through the country, as is fairly well documented. Northamptonshire and around this area was considered a frontline province, if you will, between the area of the Danelaw and then the Saxon Mercian south. So that's part of the plan. Part of the preparation for that is going to be to contact other Viking societies along that route. Visit a few places of significance along that route, and do it in aid of a charity that Blood Axe is already involved with. Checking my notes again, I did have it written down here, but I'm going to have to get you to remind me of that. Well, no, what I will actually do, I will actually pass that over to Susie, because she knows more details of the charity and she can give us a few minutes on that. So over to you.
Yep, absolutely. So the charity that Adi is talking about is we are associated with Equata. They are based out in Kettering, and they are an absolutely amazing charity run by Jo and her family, and it's an equestrian charity, and they help a lot of families and children with special needs who are on the autism spectrum. As I say, along with the horses, they've got their sensory rooms, they've got their little Hobbiton huts, as we like to call them. Absolutely gorgeous little huts that have got their sensory rooms in there, so they do all their play in there, and it's absolutely fantastic charity. Unfortunately, this year we've not been able to go and help them with their open day due to COVID. Right. We would usually go along for a day mid-August, and they would have their open day to raise some money for themselves, to help them through the winter months and so on. But as I say, unfortunately, due to COVID, we've not been able to help them out on that one this year. Every year that we've been, though, it's been absolutely brilliant events. You know, they've been so welcoming and everything else. But yeah, also, if you've got a few spare quid, go and bung Equata's way as well, because they could really do with some help at the moment, especially with COVID restrictions and what have you. So yeah, please, if search for them on Facebook, and I believe their link is on there for you to go and bung them a few quid. So
yeah, the nice thing that sometimes does get forgotten about is that they are proactive in rescuing horses, yes, that would otherwise be destroyed for meaningless reasons, really. So the dividend of whatever you're able to give keeps a horse fed for a couple of days, keeps the vet bills going, keeps the electricity going. All of these things that seemingly people might not think are important, but for the actual charity itself, it is vital that they do keep going. And they are a county-based charity. We can send money to all over the world, but I think on our own doorstep is a good place to start with.
Definitely.
With the charities that are here already. You know, and if anybody else knows of a charity in the Northamptonshire region that needs, I suppose, a little bit of support or publicity or whatever, we're happy to work with any charity for free. We will do it if it's a charity or a good cause. Blood Axe will turn up for nothing. and we
Absolutely.
will try and support you. But if you're a
Maybe a free
business,
sarnie.
we want your money.
Maybe a free sarnie.
Yeah, absolutely. What else have we got going on? Any other bits and bobs? We've talked about the Shetland. We've talked about the walk in March, Equata. What else we got for the now?
What else have we got?
I think
we did try and start getting going on another room, but there was a bit of a technical difficulty, another glitch.
Yeah, my router blipped out for about 2 minutes. I don't know what, very, very odd. I don't know what all that was about, but I think we were in the process of talking about ANZUS, weren't we?
ANZUS, yes.
So what have we got about ANZUS? ANZUS, the ruin ANZUS. Yes.
You can see it.
It's a little bit blurry, but I think we've probably got the gist of it. Yeah, near enough.
So yeah, with ANZUS, it's again, more research got to be done. I love Freya's book.
Yes,
the power and principles
Freya's
of
book.
the ruins.
Yep. So you've got your it represents the order and the gods. So it's very, very closely associated with Odin. You've got the main characteristics being consciousness, intelligence, communication, and reason.
Yeah. These are,
So
yeah. That links quite nicely onto the following rune, which is Rido. And that's all about continuity and order, and the structure and meaning and everything moving in order in its right way, like night follows day, summer follows spring, spring follows winter. Was it the maiden, the mother, the crone? So it follows the natural pathway of things. It's also associated with
riding and travel and journeying.
Also, it's attributed to Thor's chariot.
Yep.
There's
a few of them actually. You've got Odin, who travels on Sleipnir, his 8-legged horse. You've got Thor, who travels in his chariot, which is pulled by goats. And then you've also got Freya, who's pulled in a chariot with cats.
Yes.
So there's a few gods associations with that one.
Now, I think as well the essence of the rune is always moving towards the good, or moving towards what is correct and what is right. So when it's
and
reversed,
it's the journey.
You're moving away from what is good and moving towards the bad. So the person that is probably, I don't know, plagued with an addiction or with a gambling habit or something like that, they're constantly moving away.
Yeah, because I've got here the negative connotations would be control freak, dictator, and a hypocrite.
Yeah, so it's not good, but it's
no.
Rido is.
But the spiritual one is your ethical conduct and personal discipline. So
yes, it's a phenomenal one to meditate on. If you have,
and I forgot Rido.
That's right. Which, for all intents and purposes, it's the letter R, and that's it. Very, very simplified. It's the letter R, but in the deeper meaning of the runes, and from the religious way of thinking, in heathenry, it's more introspective. You carry your gods and your religion inside you. You don't need to be in a church with a congregation and other people to experience the connection between you and the spiritual realm around you, but for the purposes of how would you say, of magic and celebration, the communal gathering to enjoy a blot in celebration, or a hand fasting, or whatever the case may be, is something that is done in our tradition. But as we're moving through time, things change, and people get different things out of blots, or prefer being by themselves, or whatever the case may be. But we're aiming to get our blots back up and running again, and strengthening and nourishing our spiritual side within Blood Axe is something that we will focus on in the new year, because I know people are feeling very adrift at the moment because of COVID, and feeling isolated, feeling lonely, or feeling fed up, or they're just sort of like bogged down with the whole thing. But this is the time.
Yeah.
If anything that's uplifting, it would be touching base with one another on a Sunday morning, and that is in itself a spiritual thing that is good, and it's wholesome, and it could be construed as a religious gathering. So if you're at a loose end, come down and see us on Sundays at the Black Prince.
Yep, definitely.
10 a.m. till about midday, but some of us linger on a little bit longer. Not like that stop out who revealed to me today his shenanigans from Sunday. The stop out stayed over there till 10 o'clock at night, got tipsy. Him. There.
Well, that one.
No.
Yeah, this one.
That one. There, him.
He's there to me.
I thought it was important to invest some time in immersing myself of the Black Prince experience.
He did that by all accounts, and did it very well.
Which I did to some degree of success.
Fair enough.
I think he did it. I think he did it as well.
I did. I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Good. Why not?
And good on him. I think
the band there, to be honest, could have been heavier, which would have been more to my liking. But had they been any heavier, I might not have been home yet. So it's possibly good they won.
What we'll be doing with this segment here, we'll be tacking it on to the end of the last segment that went a bit doolally. So it'll be a slightly longer vlog going up, but I don't think we've come to the end of all of the questions that Lewis wanted answering. So
no, but we will definitely do those in the next episode.
If you're watching this, Lewis, apologies. We will get there, but uploading up to YouTube on a wonky fucking connection here can be a bit tricky at times. So what we'll do is if we wrap it up here and finish the blog here, and then the next vlog we'll be looking at. Next one from Rido. Kenaz. Yes, that will be the next one after that. And we'll have some more news and views and bits and bobs from, I suppose, the Havamal, which we were meant to look at today. Spent a lot of time in the pub with AD earlier on, beating him at Tafl, and subsequently the day kind of like drifted off into something else and all of that. So as it does. So
as the best ones do.
As with all things, if we wrap it up there and say goodbye to everyone, and this is the way of Blood Axe. Yes.
This is the way of Blood Axe.
This is the way of Blood Axe.
It's the way of Blood Axe.